Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Toilets to Titles. My name is Justin Stevens, and I am with the Joe Clark from Joe Knows, a sub-show of the Toilets to Titles Fantasy Football Network. How's it going this morning, Joe?
A little foggy in the brain, Justin. I got back from Mexico really late, like 2 a.m. the other night. Went out with some friends last night. Didn't get back too late, but still kind of like not on a regular schedule. So a little foggy brain. Then we were like, hey, we're gonna do an episode real quick this morning on this Bishop Sycamore scandal. And I'm like, all right, let's roll with it. Let's be the ones breaking news.
And I'm not sure that it's definitely a scandal yet or not. Like, we don't really know so many of the details. Like,
that's what makes it exciting.
Be legit. It could maybe not be legit. I don't know, but we got John in here. He says, "Welcome back."
Feels good to be back. It's been a while.
Sean's ready to listen in on what we have to say about this. This is a reaction video, Sean. So honestly, I don't know what we're going to say about this. We don't really know what to think about the situation, but this is absolutely insane. What this coach is doing. So I'm going to run through the intro here, Joe, if you want to start getting ready with what we want to talk about first. But guys, you can check out an entire article about what we're about to talk about on toiletstotitles.com. We've got videos and articles there, but the lead article right now is all about this Bishop Sycamore situation. You can also check this out on Apple Podcasts. Of course, you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or When a Family Breaks right now. Podbean and Spotify as well. So give us a follow. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Ring that bell. Hit that bell so that you can get the updates as soon as we go live. And give us that 5-star Apple review. And of course, always check the patreon.com/toiletstotitles. Help support us a little bit more so that we can continue to try to bring you as much information as possible, as timely as possible. I understand that this story didn't just break this morning or right now or anything, but honestly, it took us an entire evening of several of us messaging back and forth. Andrew Campy writing that article, and just to try to get our heads around this so that we could try to bring something to you. But it's absolutely amazing to think that a single guy, from what I can tell, it seems like this one coach, this Roy, what was his name? Do we know his name? Roy Johnson.
Let's see. I seen Andre Peterson in here, and yeah, I know who you're talking about. I'm sorry, I was going through the article
while you're efforting that, but this coach is putting together a team. From all accounts, from what we can picture right now, it's a team of a bunch of other players from Ohio. Some of what used to be some of the bigger and best players that he could think of, to kind of merge them all together to make this so-called team that hasn't really practiced together or anything, but he's putting them all under what seems to be a fake high school and a fake high school name, and convincing ESPN that they're a legitimate school.
Right.
I don't know.
And you're right. It is Roy Johnson was the coach, or at least the coach for that game. That's in where the article basically starts, where they got blown out by IMG like 58-0. And I just want to point out that everything we're saying is allegedly. So we really don't know what is going on here. So we're not making accusations. We're just reporting on what we've found so far, especially Andrew Campy. His research, and his great article that he wrote. So
Sean chimed in that they scrubbed their website. They did scrub their website, not only the school's website, but the football program's website as well. And Coach chimed in here that he's a great salesman. Yeah, he's a great salesman, to the point that he has warrants out for his arrest for several things. Obviously mostly fraud and everything. So to give you a general idea what this guy's doing, this coach is putting together these teams, and he is putting them under the name of this fictitious high school, we think, and then he's convincing other high schools, other big high schools like ING in Florida, that we are a legitimate school and we do have these talented players. And then he's convincing ESPN, hey, I got this school, ING. They're a great school. You've had them on playing games live on ESPN before. We have them this whatever, we have them scheduled for this whatever weekend or whatever, and we have some of the top-notch athletes, some of the top-notch recruits, and so he somehow convinces ESPN. But he tells that other school, he says, we're still a small rebuild program. Like we're not there yet. We're not there. So we need some financial support. Can you send us some money? And they'll say, sure. They'll send them money so that they can fly out, so that they can go to them, so that they can play against them. And then he sets it all up with the hotels, but then he never pays the hotels. He sets it all up with the equipment people, and then he never pays the equipment people. Like, this coach is getting everything set up for this entire game and then doesn't pay anybody. And he's pocketing the cash, right? So it's just absolutely insane, some of the things he's doing. One thing – oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's interesting that it looks like they do have at least some – like nationally ranked names. So I'm like, it wasn't like, from what I can tell, it looks like, I mean, in terms of these high school players, it looks like they have like, I mean, I'm not familiar with these names. I don't follow high school football, but it looks like he actually had some players there who were nationally ranked, like nationally recognized high school names.
Look at that. Ocean's 14. Nice.
And I just want to say real quick, in terms of the marketing, I love the name Bishop Sycamore. It sounds like a real football academy. I love it.
I do want to say that based on what this coach is saying, that how the school is set up, he said that the reason that they can justify stating that their school is just this small little podunk warehouse looking thing, like almost like a little strip mall area, where the students come to do their learning, and then he said it's mainly online though, because his excuse was that they started this school up because of the COVID threat. So the style of school existed before COVID, but because of the COVID threat, they felt that this was a really good setup, because essentially what it is an online school where the kids can still come to class if they feel comfortable with it, or they keep smaller class levels in class and rotate them out with the other students. And there's still a teacher within the classroom, even though the kids are on their computers doing everything online. So this actually is a legit, and this is one thing that I'm reading a lot of people talk about, how that just seems shady. It sounds like that whole system of schooling, and as far as the schooling aspect of it goes, seems insane or whatever. But that actually is a legitimate form of education, and that's what I teach right now. I'm in my classroom right now. I don't have any students on Wednesdays because they do community service on Wednesdays, but typically Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, my students come in, they grab their computers, they sit down at their desk, and they start working. And then I walk around the room, or they come up to me and they ask me for help when they get to something that they need help with. But the majority of education is self-taught anymore until they get to that point where they need help in this format. It's a self-taught environment. So the idea behind this type of school is legit. But I'll say this much: our school does not have a football team. Our school doesn't have a tennis team or a ping pong team. We barely have a chess club. We barely have a chess club.
You better start it up on paper and get them into the high school tournament.
But the kids are scattered all over the state of Indiana. There's no way they're all going to come together for a football practice. That's the part that seems shady to me.
Yeah, unless it was like in a heavily football concentrated area. So it's not. I'll tell you about the kids, though. It's funny because I'm looking at ESPN Press Room, which Andrew had a link to in his article, and this is by Kimberly Elchlep. I don't want to slaughter the name, Kimberly Elchlep, I believe. And I was just, like I said, I was just saying before about apparently the school has some like nationally recognized names, and she's got them listed here. I'm wondering if maybe just like the coach just like fed them some of these names, just saying, oh, we've got these nationally recognized names. And maybe I'm just wondering if ESPN didn't check them out, because she says that in her article, Bishop Sycamore is a new program with young talent and several players on both sides of the ball. have multiple Division I offers, including QB Trillian Harris and offensive lineman Justin Daniel. And the funny thing is, I'm not really seeing these names in like ESPN's like top 300 participants. But it's funny, I'm seeing like the team that destroyed them, IMG Academy, like 58-0. I'm seeing those names in this chart all over the place. I'm seeing IMG Academy all over the place. But I'm not seeing anything from Bishop Sycamore.
Right, right, and that's kind of the thought process here, though. So some of these players are over 20 years old, and like most of them are around that age. There was I read an interview from one particular student that used to play for them, and he said that he went to a building one time and was in class one time for only a very short amount of time, and that wasn't until I think it was like October, November, because I guess this has been going on since last year, or maybe this was the old school. Yeah, that's another thing. This is the second school that this coach has done this to. He started it with a whole nother at a whole nother location, called it something totally different, like something Christian, something academy. I forget what it was, but some kind of a Christian academy that he started up and did all this same stuff. So maybe that's what this interview was from. But that kid said that he was only 15 years old playing for the team, and he was the only 15-year-old on the team. All the rest of them were 18 to 20 years old, every single other player on the team. So that meant that all of the kids within the program that were playing for the school all had to be between 18 to 20 years old at school as well, with the exception of this one 15-year-old kid. And he said he didn't even get to go to classes until the season was almost over. And he went to one class, kind of realized for himself it was phony, and they went back to his old school again.
Oh, that is fun. Yeah, Christians. I think Christians of Faith.
There you go. That's what it is. Yep, Christians of Faith Academy. That's what it was.
Yeah. So yeah, apparently, and this is one of the things that Johnson's kind of like in trouble with the law for, is that he's going to trial after defaulting on a $100,000 loan from First Merchants Bank. Johnson used that loan again. Johnson is the coach for this game, at least for Sycamore. Johnson used that loan to operate Christians of Faith Academy. So
yeah, and he also has, like, if I remember right, like assault or charges or domestic violence charges against him.
Yes, there was. Yeah, that was that too. So yeah, so he was Christians of Faith Academy. Yeah, that was in Campy's article as well. So Christians of Faith Academy is a private online school that would use an ambitious football program to help low-income and underprivileged students earn college opportunities. No,
absolutely,
maybe he's doing it for the right reasons.
So yeah, so they use this address, 303 South Grant Avenue in Columbus, Ohio, as their school's address, right? But then they use this other facility, this sports complex that's in Columbus, to do their run their practices and their games. So he's got to be paying that complex some money as well, just to be able to utilize the complex. But I guess where part of this story started to break for them is because that sports complex started getting mail for the school, because they were using that sports complex as an address for the school's address before they actually started using the 303 South Grant Avenue.
Right.
How crazy is that? They were using this random sports complex that they use for practices to be their sports, or to be their school's address. Allegedly, again, to remind everybody, just like Joe said at the top, this
allegedly.
This is all what's being reported. And this is what we're reading. This is what we're hearing. But wow,
we're not making accusations.
like a part of me really respects the guy for the hustle, but because he's doing it illegally, because the other thing we have to worry about too is the health and safety of the kids. Okay, so if you don't have a legitimate organization, then you have nothing holding this organization to accountability wise. So you have 18 to 20-year-old adults playing football against these kids. And even though these adults are getting their asses kicked by these legitimate high school football teams, you still have adults that could get frustrated because they're getting their asses kicked by kids and want to take it out on the kids, you know? And then also, like, it's I don't know. There's just so much just health and safety wise that you have to worry about
Right.
with all this. And what if one of the kids gets seriously injured, or even one of the Bishop Sycamore players get hurt? Like, if they're not a legitimate team, then they don't have insurance. So where does the liability fall? And like, they're going to have to be treated and taken care of. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
And there's a huge body difference. There's a huge difference between someone who's, say, like 20 and someone who's 16. Obviously, high school football players tend to be bigger than most kids. I mean, they're not small kids. These aren't like, usually football players like in high school, they don't look like your gangly, awkward kids who look like they're still developing. They usually look like, men or young men.
Right.
But but you're right. It's like, there is, someone, if they're 20 years old getting frustrated, they can do something stupid on the field. And I just want to point out to people who are watching or see this video later on, we're not blaming any of the kids who joined this program or anything. Really what we're talking about, and the concern here is what Coach Johnson has done, and the adults who started this program and what they're running. That's what this is about. This isn't about like, any of the kids who may be participating at the end of the day, they're just kids. But hopefully they're not all, in their 20s. And we don't even know if they're in their 20s. This is all allegedly.
Well, there are confirmed a couple of players that we were able to track down, because Campy is some kind of a detective on Google. But one particular, I reached out to his dad on Twitter to try to get him to come on this morning. Obviously, I didn't get a response, and I seriously doubt that he will ever respond, and I totally respect that. But I read up more about that particular player, and last year he was visiting Auburn, and there was mutual interest between Auburn and Clemson. There was mutual interest between Clemson and this player for him to come play for them, and he was an All-State, Ohio All-State quarterback. From everything that I could tell, it looked like he was a senior last year, and he's playing football this year for this high school. And then one of his teammates, a middle linebacker that was also an All-State middle linebacker for Ohio last year, was one of his teammates as well. And from, again, allegedly and based on my assumptions, based off of what I could find, I would say that they were probably both seniors last year, and they were both playing on this fictitious team. So, I mean, yeah, I don't really blame the kids, because they're trying to get their name out there in any way they can. Maybe things fell through with Clemson and he wasn't able to play for them this year, and maybe he had something pop up, he got frustrated, whatever, and this is a chance for him to get his name out there. It's a chance for him to play on ESPN and show that he's got some kind of skill level or something, and he's shooting his shot, whatever. Yeah. I don't blame him. As long as he's not doing anything illegal, then I guess I can't blame a guy for trying. But man, it's
what a story! Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I can't wait for the 30 for 30 on this one, but I don't know that they will, since they duped ESPN too. ESPN probably won't do a 30 for 30 on it.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? They should own it. Own it. Yep. Hey, own it. You can even say, "Hey, we got duped." It happens. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a 30-30 on that.
Right.
Very, very interesting story.
All right. Well, Coach, if you're still watching, if you think that maybe we missed something that we should hit on, I can't think of anything else right now, right off the top of my head. But I will say we will update this on the show. So, well, yeah. Before I go into the outro, Joe, is there anything else you can think of that we didn't hit?
No. No. I think we covered everything that we possibly can on this story. It's just such a strange story, and it's interesting. Oh, the hotel fraud.
Yeah, we did talk about the hotel fraud. How that was all part of it too. He was getting money from these schools to come and play for them, and then making agreements with the hotels to house his players while they were there, and then never paying the hotel. Also that reminds me. Thanks, John. So last year, this player for that other school, that Christian Academy, had said that they would go several nights of sleeping in random houses, just random empty houses, with all the players just sleeping on the floor, and they were given very little to actually play for them. so that to the point where they were robbing like Walmarts and Myers and just stealing food and stuff like that, just shoplifting, just so that they could eat. Like that's what this player was stating that the coach was putting them through, because that was the only way they could eat while they were on the road, because they would get all this money from these other schools to go travel, but for whatever reason the players never got the money. Obviously this guy was pocketing the cash. And Campy says they don't have a punter. Their quarterback handled those duties
and not well, and very badly. If you watch the video links in Andrew's articles, you'll see that he didn't handle them well.
And then coach says,
poor guy.
Dude was recruiting players, posting them up in hotels, cutting checks to pay for the hotels, and the checks got bounced. So yeah, like unreal, man, unreal. But what I was gonna say though, I think we've pretty much hit anything that we can think of to hit. And like I said, Campy wrote the article, so Campy also, if there's something that we've missed here, drop us a dime while I do the outro, and we'll hit it real quick. But I do want to let you know that as things unfold with this story, I feel like our team, our Toilets to Titles team, are so interested. Like this is the one thing that has happened since we put this thing together where we are all just super interested in this story. So as it unfolds, we will continue to keep you updated on the regular show. If enough unfolds all in one day, we might do another special bonus episode. But yeah,
this story is still developing.
Yeah, definitely. There's no way that this is the end because we don't have an ending yet. So, but down at the bottom there, check out the Patreon. Don't forget, with the Patreon, you get the waiver wire access. That's patreon.com/Toilets to Titles. You get the waiver wire episode. You get the personal chat, the personal one-on-one roster-based chat, depending on which tier and level that you want to help support us with. You get the chat with the entire group on Discord, there's a lot of merchandise, Frankenstank entries, a whole lot of stuff that you guys can qualify for by helping us out on the Patreon. Also, again, hit that subscribe button, help build our numbers up. We're growing fast, and we're going to continue to try to bring you everything we can as soon as we can. The Apple Podcast. Hit us up there on the Apple Podcast as well. I know this episode isn't going out on Apple. Our bonus episodes won't, but that's where you got to join the Patreon. Then all you got to do is request any episode, and we'll send it to you. ToiletsToTitles.com. That's where you're going to find Campy's articles. That's where you're going to find all of our articles, not just this one, but all of the articles across the board. So Joe, man, it's been real. I appreciate you coming on this morning and helping me out with this. There's no way I could have handled this by myself. This is insane.
I'm glad I was able to hop on and discuss this. It is such an interesting story, and everyone, please check out Andrew Campy's article. It's fantastic, and absolutely, love reading it. I hope at the end of the day, no one's getting physically hurt in these games, like any of these kids by any adult players or anything. And I hope the worst thing about this is the fraud by Coach Johnson. So yeah, we'll see how it develops. Yeah. But what a crazy story, and definitely fun to cover.
Absolutely. So on the way out, one last time, I do want to remind everybody our weekly schedule for the show. Okay, in case you are still watching, Monday nights, immediately after Monday Night Football, is the Waiver Wire show. After we get a few more Patreons support, it's only going to go to the Patreons. So you really want to try to get that Patreon level tiered up there so that you can get that episode. Tuesday nights is our main show with myself, John, and Nate, the original founders of the Toilets to Titles network. Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. My dude right here beside me, Joe, he's going to be doing a review and preview, just the NFL in general. What was that?
Yep. There's going to be a review of the previous week's games and a preview of the upcoming games.
Right on. Are you going to have a co-host for that, or is it just you?
Right now it's just me, but if anyone ever wants to, any of our colleagues from Toilets to Titles ever want to jump on, they can feel free to, come in that week. That's cool. So, but as of right now, it's just going to be me.
Right on. So if you didn't catch his draft breakdowns, Joe actually does know how to fly solo. So that's still going to be a really interesting breakdown because it's not from a fantasy standpoint. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
NFL.
Yep, just NFL in general, which is Joe's specialty, so that's nice. At 10 p.m. on Wednesday nights, immediately following Joe Knows, is Dollars to Deuces. That's with our boy Nate and Rich. They are going to be bringing you a betting breakdown. And then Thursday night, one of our original founders, working Thursday night at 8 p.m., bringing you a dash of DFS. That's his show. That's the daily fantasy show. I'm sure he's going to tell you all about it, and he's going to brag about all the money he won last year in DFS, and he deserves to brag about it. And it's true. It's all true. Like, we saw it for ourselves. He sent us screenshots. We were rooting for him. Our man John definitely knows DFS, so that's a show you don't want to miss. And it might even make enough money for y'all in the future that we might even end up making that just for Patreons only as well. Sunday, 8 a.m., that's Sunday Cup of Joe.
Yep.
Again, Joe, you're all over the place here. For that one, you do have a co-host.
Actually, right now, that's just going to be me.
Oh, okay. Well, then tell us more about that one,
Yep.
because I thought that you were going to have
Yeah.
Eric or Alex or somebody on there with you.
No, it's just going to be me. Originally, it was going to be Alex and Mike, but we decided to split off and do two shows.
Oh, okay. I got
two different shows. So they're going on after me. I'm going on early Sunday morning, 8 a.m., and I'm going to be covering results from some of the more important college game results. And then I'll also talk about sort of like another preview of the upcoming games for that day, for Sunday and Monday. So
so again, very basically generally football centric.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
Fantasy. And I love the college football aspect of it. I love that you're doing that, because that's something that we've been missing. And then immediately after the Sunday Cup of Joe, we've got Sunday at 10 a.m. is going to be the Blitz with Mike and Alex and myself. I'm only going to be on for the first hour, but they're going to bring you a 2-hour show where they're going to give you start and sit advice. They're going to give you advice on the weather. They're going to give you advice. If you call in and you ask what kickers to start, and you give them a list of 17 kickers and tell them you need to start 16, they'll figure out which one to sit, okay? But because that's what we do. And that's going to be a call-in show. Eventually, maybe at first it might just be YouTube, but we're looking to make that a call-in show, because that's what Mike's Sunday Blitz has always been in the past. And so if you guys are counting, that's 8 episodes in 7 days. 8 episodes.
More content.
4, yeah, I believe that was 8 episodes. I don't know. Maybe it's 7 in 7 days. Regardless, we're averaging at least an episode a week or more. We're still going to be bringing you bathroom break episodes. We're still going to be bringing you these special bonus episodes. We're putting in the effort because we want to give you all the material we can. So if you can think of anything else that you want to see as a viewer, let us know. Drop us a line. toiletstitles@gmail.com. You can email us. I think that's everything, Joe. But I can't wait for the story to unfold. I really cannot.
We'll definitely be following it and reporting on it.
Right on.
I have a feeling there's gonna be crazier stuff that's gonna be coming. That's gonna be breaking over the next few days on this.
Yep. Well, you viewers out there, the NFL season is right around the corner. Some of you obviously won't be watching this today. Maybe by the time you're watching this, it'll be within the week. So enjoy the football season, enjoy your fantasy season, enjoy college, whatever it is you enjoy. Just enjoy the hell out of it, because football only comes once a year. So the fall season, the football season, this is my favorite time of the year. Let's just enjoy it. Let's have a good time, and thanks for joining us.